Detective, I'm so glad you're here. One of our most senior staff, Mr. Blue, has been missing for almost a month now, and with him gone, we've been forced to delay a large contract. Needless to say, the board is not happy. We at C Corp need him back as soon as possible. Detective, I need you to find out what has become of Mr. Blue. He is integral to the delicate machinery that is C Corp, and I'm sure that my staff, though kind, know more than I've managed to squeeze out of them. I suggest that you talk to Mr. Red first. As far as I know, him and Mr. Blue had some sort of falling out just days prior to Mr. Blue disappearing. Now, you have to excuse me. If I step out for more than a moment, this company turns into a jungle. I could never retire, you know. Not when just about every important contract require my personal supervision, what seems like daily. It's great to have you here, Detective. I'm counting on you.
Is this about Blue? I already told that fossil all I know. You're saying I had something to do with it? It's a miracle he got along with anyone with that goody two-shoes act of his. Always sticking his nose where it doesn't belong. The repo department was doing fine, way before he was reassigned here and started barking orders. And frankly, the extra paperwork has done nothing but slow me down. Not to mention, it's quite honestly the worst thing to spend my time on. One customer calls in because of a single faulty circuit board getting back on the market, and the company needs someone to come in and tell me how to run my department? Give me a break. Cataloging every single faulty wire, reclaimed circuit board, and piece of tech. What difference does it make if we're just going to destroy the stuff anyway? Pointless pencil pushing, if you ask me. Just getting the factory code log takes forever. What is there to say? He came to the repo department and started changing everything. And may I add that we never had a single complaint when we did things my way. Now, with all the additional paperwork, a single typo can start a 4-hour-long meeting with Miss Yellow. Any sane person would rather gouge their eyeballs out than be around that sorry-looking bore. Let's just say I dislike the man, but I had nothing to do with him disappearing. No shit. customer got a refund, and I saw to it myself that as soon as the board got back to us, it was smashed to pieces, right there on my desk. That's hardly enough to constitute a real complaint, if you ask me. Just some oversensitive schmuck wanting stuff for free. That's all there is to it. I swear you're like a freaking bloodhound! Ever heard of hyperbole? Me and Yellow have split up, if you have to know. I don't want everyone around here knowing. Could you just keep this to yourself, man? Even get what the big deal is. The stuff was barely used. It was still in the box, for God's sake. I was doing the company a favor. Do you know how many thousands of dollars of hardware is destroyed every single day? It's enough to make you blush. And the genius Dr. Green keeps spending insane amounts of company money to develop these circuits. And then they still get returned? How great can they be? He's nothing but a neurotic moron. His bug-eyed face makes me nervous. Can't stand looking at him for more than a moment, even less trying to have a normal conversation with the man. He's here on the same floor as you, just down the hall. You should talk to him about all this, not me. He's not busy or anything. I know, because each time I see him is at his desk. He's just staring out into nothingness. Like a freak.
What's the meaning of this? I'm busy and must get back to work immediately. Our new shipment of transistors is coming in any moment now. Did that buffoon Red tell you that? He wouldn't know how to get dressed in the morning if not for yellow. What she saw in him I will never understand. You see, I'm not simply sitting by my desk staring out into space. I'm designing. No one knows circuit boards like I do. I'm the Beethoven of engineering. My circuits are as powerful as a full orchestra, yet still as elegant as a single violin. Impervious perfection. Correct. C-Corp would be out of business if not for me. Before I showed up, C-Corp was barely scraping by. But you did not hear that from me. Every year, White hires more and more idiots to cram into my faculty. They have an inverse relationship between the size of their person and the size of their brains. I make every single circuit design this company puts out. My faculty is just filled with useless pencil pushers. Didn't know he left.
You're starting to speak my language, detective. It's so strange, right? My theory, and tell me if this sounds crazy, but wouldn't it make sense that he's actually a large collection of bugs, holding on to each other, forming this gross, misshapen figure before us? It would explain everything. The eyes, the face, the everything, you know? I need to investigate further, but I've yet to build up the courage to ever be close enough to him to say for certain. Please report back if you figure anything out, but be careful. That's none of your business. Second of all, fuck you. And third, I bet you got that from Freakazoid. I am sick and tired of covering for his ass. Mr. Beethoven ordered the destruction of the circuit himself. Don't ask me why. He gave me an earful when I insisted on going with regular procedure. First and only time I was happy to see his face. All scrunched up like he ate a sour grape. One more thing, Detective. Go prying into my personal life one more time and I'll bash your head in. You can take that to HR.
So, you heard about that, did you now? Well, you see, we couldn't have it become public knowledge that the circuit had been tampered with before getting returned. I don't trust the people I work with not to use that info to try and further themselves. That one of those morons working for me decided to get too clever for their own good and send out one of their unverified builds to market. The process should always go through verification first. Obviously, they, must have piggybacked on my recent prototypes. And obviously, in over their heads, they accidentally introduced an exploitable flaw. That's enough. I'm not hired to spend every damn moment being cross-examined by some nosy private eye that's hell-bent on painting us as the bad guys. Yes, I made that circuit, but it was never meant for consumer application. It's part of an off-the-book contract that C-Corp has been working on for the past 6 years. You'd think they would greenlight my salary if I wasn't the only person capable of carrying out the specifics of that contract. Here's the deal. I'm tired, uninspired, and frustrated. I think it's best that you work this out with White. Her office password is 255X3. As far as I know, she's always there.
Detective, what is the meaning of this? How did you get access to my office password? I have not the faintest clue what you're talking about, Detective. I'm sure Dr. Green let his imagination run away with him. He's the best at what he does, but sadly, such talent often exact a high price. The contracts may be secret to me, but I would be the only one. I've become just about redundant here at the company, you see. I think of myself as almost nothing more than a figurehead these days, staring ever forward but not steering. I will have a word with Green when I have a moment to spare. For now, though, Detective, I suggest you take what Dr. Green says with a grain of salt. Please see yourself out, and please refrain from entering my office so forcefully in the future. It seems I haven't been fully truthful with you, Detective. See, the circuits Dr. Green's been developing are not for our consumer brand of electronics. The circuit board scandal came from one of our prototypes accidentally being shipped along with our regular content, thanks to the idiot Red. The new circuits are all part of a military contract. The devices envisioned by Dr. Green are used to interface directly with soldiers' frontal cortex. He was overseeing the development of the device alongside Dr. Green before the military had him superseded by General Pink when the first workable prototypes were tested. Of course, Detective. I will send for him right away. I hope you understand that the C Corp has matters far larger than the scope of what we can allow you to know, Detective. Please focus on finding Mr. Blue and you will be handsomely compensated. I hope I don't have to spell out